Welcome to A Moment with Rose. I would love to encourage us this morning with this scripture. Romans 12 verse 2, it reads, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that by testing you may discern what the will of God is, the good and acceptable will of God." This scripture is so loaded. However, permit me just focus on this part. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I understand many of us maybe have been so organized. By the end of last year, 2019, you might have made a vision board, set goals for yourself, and when the year started, January, February, you were up running with your goal, with your vision board, and you thought everything was fine. But then, when March rolled in, COVID-19 presented itself, and you thought that maybe your vision board has been thrown off the window. Oh, your goals, you want to go to the gym 3 times a week, 4 times a week. What has happened to all of that? You know, I was listening to something from Crystal Evans Hertz. She said, one lady wrote and said she always told herself when she had to stop going to all the games her children had to take her to, or when she had a chance not to go to work, she would keep her closet clean. She would cook all the wonderful gourmet meals for her family. But now she doesn't have to go to work. She has no games to go to, and she's not doing all of that. Now she knows the problem is with her. What is going on with you? Things have been different, right? But one thing I want to encourage us this morning, let's renew our mind. Let's renew our mind. I was just reading from Eliot's Commentary Bible. He says, the mind in itself is neutral. So whatever data you feed to that mind, that's what you will get. It can be fed with good data, and it gives some wonderful positive things, or it can be fed with wonderful, let me put wonderful in quotes, some things that seem to make sense, but it's popular, what the world is saying, and you feed on that, and you become depressed. So in this season, what are you feeding your mind on? Our minds need to be renewed. Let's make the most out of this season. Maybe you have been praying, one of the things on your board this year was, you just want to know your children better, and you want them to be improved, to improve in one area in their life or the other. But guess what? This is the time you get to homeschool. It might not have been that pleasurable at the beginning, but you need to learn to know more about your children. And now you can pray differently and redirect them to do the things that you've always wanted to do. You might have wanted to exercise. You can't go to the gym, but then you get to walk and run under the sun, tanning yourself at the same time. Do 2 things at the same time. You might never have had time to go to a spa, especially for those of us who live in this area of the world where we don't have enough sunlight. Now we get to do that by walking outside. What else do you want to do? You might have wanted to learn to do different things. You've never had the opportunity. Maybe God has just put a pause in the world for people to discover the gold mines that are in them that they've never had the opportunity to explore. Maybe there are some books you had wanted to write, but because you have been so busy running up and down, you've never thought about it. And maybe in your so-called boredom, that little desire is just being ignited. Maximize the moment. Write that book. Maybe there are people who are speakers, but because they are afraid of crowd, they can speak through social media. You don't see people face to face, but you can express yourself anyhow. Maybe you could be a person who may be so good with conducting virtual events. You know, there are many things coming up. Maximize the moment if your mind is renewed. If you look at it like opportunity, if you want to look at it like this is a prime time for me to do some things, you can look at it that way. And ask God to help you maximize the moment. Think differently. Let's be nimble in our thoughts, in our thinking process, and we can make the best out of this moment. Did you enjoy this? If you did, please kindly subscribe. This was A Moment with Rose. Maximize the moment.